All right, good afternoon, guys and gals. Boy, do I got a show for you. Just kidding. No, but I got two more of these Knife River Flint rocks to work down. Just two more. Almost to the end. I was telling Brennan on that comment there in the other video. He said, your hands must be hurting. I must be mad at you. Yeah, my hands are sore. These two fingers are still hurting. I hit a rock quite a while back. I was, can't remember what I was doing, but I was holding it like this and I hit it with a indirect rod or something, but man, it jarred my fingers. They've been sore ever since. So, just some napping knowledge. That's why I hold the rock the way I do. I don't know if I explained it in my other videos, but yeah, I think I did. But yeah, I've been holding it like this, letting that flake run between my fingers. But I've broken some that way too. Live and learn, live and learn. But by God, get the job done. That's the main thing. So I went to the post office, sent those 4 points to Tommy Taylor. I sent that turkey tail to Jared. So the 4 points are headed to Tennessee. The turkey tail I think is going to Oregon. Oh, and then I sent one of those knives, that one with the big handle off the side, to Bill Taylor for the trade. And then I sent him a bunch of bifaces and some other flake rocks, Novaculite and Q-Cook, I think. And then Mike Mason sent Mike some KRF. Just sent him 8 pounds of KRF, some smaller rocks, and get some points about this size maybe out of them. But yeah, Mike, you got 8 pounds of rock coming. And I sent you some tools too. So yeah, those are the 4 things I sent. Stuck them in the mail. So I'm not pressure flaking today. Long story short, getting back to the subject of sore hands, what Brendan was saying. That's why I'm just using indirect today. Let my hands heal up a little bit. So I've been nailing this thing and I haven't bent it yet. Whereas this other one here, what is this guy? Oh, this one here. This one here gets bent when I hit it wrong. I don't know if you can see that or not. See that wobble? Got a bit of a wobble to it. I know that's the long one. This is the short one. Yeah, see, it kind of has a curve to it. Not bad though. All right, here's another almond. Big old almond. Got an island on it. See if we can't get that out of there. Send all kinds of shots at it this way and see if we can't remove it. So there's a couple of ridges here. Maybe this one we'll try it. The ridge here. Try these two first. So you could see my hold there. Hold it in the middle with my thumb. And I run the flake between my 2 fingers. And it keeps from having sore fingers. Getting any shock. I think everybody does that eventually. Been watching stone hook. Work with that knife River Flint too. He worked an hour and a half. I think he worked about 5 rocks. But yeah, he's doing pretty good with it. Getting the hang of it. That's what it takes, rock after rock. So I sent him a good sized box so he can get stuff figured out for himself. Okay, then the other thing I do, I don't know just why I'm explaining this, but you guys been watching me not be kind of see, but when I hold this without this Kelly strap, I push on it and it moves no matter how much I tighten my leg, and then when I hit it, it almost pushes it out from my leg. But with this Kelly strap, I can place the piece here on the ridge where I'm going to hit, and then I can tighten my leg muscle, and it makes that rod where it ain't movable anymore. So now I can give back pressure without it sliding like that. And then before I hit it, I try to think about my angle. So this here is going to take this angle, take a short flake. The more I dip it down this way, it'll take a bigger, deeper flake, but with that, you get hinges. The farther you go this way, it'll hinge out because that deal will go into the rock instead of skipping over the top. So just a little FYI, if you don't know already. If you don't know, you ought to know. Now you know. See, like that. The perfect angle, ran that ridge, knocked that knob right off there. See if I can recreate it for you. It's kind of, oh, that's perfect. The flake broke, but what I was going for was this big hinge right here. Or not a hinge, but an island. So, I don't know if you could see them ridges or not, but there was 2 ridges there. That one that I hit, right there. That ridge, see that line? And then there was another ridge over here. This one, that one in there. So I could have hit either one of those to try to remove that, but luckily that first hit went underneath it on this side, and it removed it, and it ran it all the way to there. So I hit underneath here, and I had the perfect angle, meaning when I was holding it like this, when I had my rod under, I had the perfect angle like this. If I went like this, it would have never went underneath that island. If I went like this, it would have went too far under that island. So if you could see it again here, reconstruct. See that big old hinge there, right there, and see how thin it was underneath there. So I had the perfect angle, and that comes with experience. You're not gonna know the angles right away when you're using indirect, so you have to experiment with it. So the more rock you can hit, that's the same type, I guess. So like with knife River Flint, I needed that angle to get that flake. But whereas if I had something like this Q Cook, which is not as hard as this, the angle would have been maybe 1 or 2 degrees less to get that same kind of flake. And then the strike would have been a lot less, and the tool might have been different too. It might this rock might have reacted different from steel, from copper, from aluminum. So just to share, having some thoughts here this afternoon. Last few videos I didn't talk much, but I just went to the coffee shop and I had a double shot. So my mind's going 100 miles an hour. Okay, so gonna continue on running ridges and thinning out here. We'll get rid of that. We'll skin the almond and we'll get to the nut here. If that makes any sense. See how that didn't work? What it was is all the explanation I did, I didn't tighten my leg, and when I hit, it gave it a little bit of just that little bit of play in the rod. So when I hit it, the rod might have just skipped off because my leg wasn't tight like this. See, I can't move it now. But whereas if I don't tighten my leg, I can just move it easy. So there's a lot of that comes into play too. Just gotta try to do it the same way every time, but that just comes with experience. So whereas that time I tightened my leg, I hit the exact same spot, hit the exact same force, and I ran that ridge right there. Actually, it was kind of a double ridge. Okay, can you see right here? See, there's two ridges there. One goes this way, one goes this way. But I hit the second ridge wanting to go that way. But the force went in and then it traveled along that ridge and it removed that flake like that. See how thick that flake is and how curved it is. But I used pretty much the same angle and it traveled. So now I'm going to continue on skinning and keep my edge straight. See how it's got that big lip there? I'm just going to chip that lip off and then I'm going to move on over here and send some more in there. You can see how soft that hit was compared to those other ones. I was nailing it. I didn't want to break that off and send a hinge in there. Okay, now same deal. There's another two ridge right here. There's one there and one this way. See it? Right there. One there and one there. So the thing to do would be to skin this ridge off and weaken this and then hit this ridge and then it might go in there. Try it. See if I can't make a liar out of myself. Okay, skinned it. Tightened my leg and I didn't hit it as hard and it didn't go and it hinged. Maybe I didn't have the right angle. Maybe my angle was this. Instead of this, I did this a little bit. Degree or one or 2 degrees made all the difference. So now I gotta try to undershoot it again. So I'm gonna move over 1/8 of an inch. Hit it again. Nothing. That platform was beat up. Tough. So now I need to go down this way and relieve some of those flakes that are broke up. Okay, now I strengthen that edge up again. I'll try that way again. See if we can get that camel hump out of there. Nope. Dove in. So just got to play around with it. Maybe it didn't want to go that way, so I went one over, hit it again. There it went. First I went hit here, thinking it might go, and then it hinged again. here, hinge it again, went here. This is the first striking area. Second, third one broke off there, but it went undercut that. There we go. So once you get flakes driving like that, you can't let off the gas. See how I kind of let off the gas there and start tapping it? Because I don't want to go too far. I just want to get this little piece off here. So I'm trying to find the right force that I need to hit this with in order to remove that. So I hit twice now, and neither one of them worked. So I'm going to give it a little more going that way. But I'm going to go ahead and get my edge ready here. There we go, found it. There we go. So I hit one down this way, weaken that edge, so that flake would release. I don't know if you watched that or not, but so now you could see over here on this side. Okay, I got done working this side. I worked that hump off. Now this side here I've been hitting and it's not driving. That's why I switched to this side. But now I gotta prepare this edge here and try to get them flakes to run over that. But you could see right here is really thin now. So I gotta get the rest of this to match that. So my point isn't all out of whack. Every time I grind and see all that smoke, it reminds me to turn the fan on. Don't want to be breathing that smoke. And do I smoke cigarettes like a damn chimney? Not that bad, but yeah, I do smoke some. Okay, shot a bunch of flakes in there. Where was it? Okay, yeah, this was that low spot right here where it was thin. So I started at the tip and this edge was, see how it's still that way? I shot a bunch of flakes in there going that way, working my way towards it. Then I matched it up pretty much right there. and it's all out of whack still, but it's slowly starting to thin out. And when I work these flakes out, it helped me get closer to that. So now I can break that thin edge off and then undershoot that. This is how it should work in a perfect world. There we go. Okay, now I'm right up to that. There. Just about. A couple more flakes. You can see I'm driving flakes in there, getting it flat. Okay, see my edge is moving up, and I'm getting it ready to drive flakes back this way. It's not quite there yet, still right against this flat edge, so I need to chip down and then raise that edge so it send flakes that way. This one's already ready, see it? I could already send some flakes in here if I wanted to, but I need to prepare this edge so it doesn't end up diving and ripping that off. And when you're changing an edge, your angle either has to be perfectly flat or a little bit up. So when I'm driving flakes, angle's this way. When I'm not driving flakes and I'm changing the angle's this way a little bit, depending on the purpose. Okay, I'm gonna hit this way once because the edge is there already. Okay, now back again. And back the other way again. There we go. Just that one flake got it. Got that square edge out. Now I can drive flakes into that. Still some here. I'm going to do the same thing and try to raise that coming from this way. Shaping it. This side's nice and flat. Now I need to drive flakes over this side. Both sides. Get it thinned out, then fix up the base. The base. Got a lot of good flakes to run in there, except that one. There's a hinge there. So since it's still out a little bit, I can move in and then get it. Meaning the edge is out this way a little bit, and I can get closer to that hinge. So I'm going to hit it straight down again. Braid it. Go at it again. This time it's going to come out. One shot. I tried it from this one. First hit, missed it. Second hit, I put it right on it and sent it. But it hinged in the middle. But luckily I got this edge ready over here to run that way now. Oh, and the other thing is this thing. See how it's beat up there? Right there, it's real rough. So, gotta keep that sharpened up. I usually keep it in there, but I took it out to show you. And I'm scraping, I can hear those chunks of rock coming out in the rough areas. And I just keep filing until that sound is gone. And then I just try to keep working my tip back to the middle. Then I'll even round off the tip sometimes, so it's not so weak. It kind of has a blunt edge. Okay, so this side's shaped pretty decent. Now I can run some flakes in here, then we'll shape it. Okay, it's pretty flat now. There's a little bit of a ridge, but you want to have that for your strength of your point. You want to have a center line on it. And it's pretty thin, but you can send a couple more in there, pressure flaking. But that's up to you. So now I'm going to shape it, get it to where I want it. I'm going to knock this chunk off the bottom here, get that teardrop shape, kind of like this. This is the way you want your bifaces or your preforms to look. So there's another good here. It's a good preform there. And have that teardrop or leaf shape. So this one is already thin. I'm just going to knock it straight off. Might thin it a little bit, not much though. Okay, as thin as I want it to be. Hit it down one way, turn it over, hit down the other way. Okay, there we go. Decent by face. Took my time, explained that one pretty good. Now this is all pressure flaking work from here to finish. But my hands are sore, I can't do it no more. So that goes in the pile. And I got one more. This one looks pretty, got a lot of challenges to it. Got all that different coloring stuff that's usually hard to nap through. So we'll call that good on that rock. Thanks for watching. Likes and subscribe. I'm at 107 subscribers. And was thinking about doing something one of these days and made it to 100. So maybe that's what the guy's been doing, is doing a giveaway, you know. So I have to make a point, or maybe a knife or something, and do a giveaway. Yeah, so all right, more videos to come today. Thanks for watching.